Welcome back to the Dabbler's Domain. We are back in the Lone Wolf series, the Kai series, if you will, Flight from the Dark. This is episode 2. We last left our hero. Our Kai monastery has been destroyed, and we are on our journey to the Summerland King to tell of everything that's going on. We met some travelers while on the road, and we're kind of feeling things out. We're trying to make our way there, but we're trying to get a feel for the land as well. Maybe help some people along the way. The last time we were here, we had come across a small bridge. We were on section 70. So I will reread section 70 and go from there. So here we go. Section 70. You come to a small bridge. The water passing beneath this bridge is deep and clear. A stony track runs along the bank of the stream and disappears into pine trees away to the east, while a narrower dirt path heads off into a thick woodland to the south. If you wish to use the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, which we do, if we have it, we're going to use it 9 times out of 10. So we're going to use our Kai discipline of Sixth Sense and turn to 8. Your Kai Sixth Sense warns you that a fierce battle is raging to the south. The direction is also the quickest to the capital. Turn to 70 to choose your route. So, if we go south, we head towards the battle, as well as it is the fastest route there. Or we may turn to 28. So here is where, for me personally, I think I know which battle that is. And I would like to explore these books more for what they have and not just go the quickest way possible. I'm adapting as I go and learning more stuff as I go. So we are actually going to go east and turn to 28 and not head directly to the battle. So let's go to 28. 28. After only a few hundred yards, the forest path joins with another trail that runs north to south. A bench carved from a fallen tree trunk is set along the track. If this is your first visit here, you are hungry and must stop a while to eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. We are not in wastelands, deserts. We have hunting. So we do not need to worry about taking our meal away because we can hunt. And I believe in other books, it will say like you cannot hunt here. So if I wish to go northward, turn to 130. If I wish to head south, 147. Let's 50-50 it. Let's 50-50 it. So again, 1 through 5, we will head north. 6 through 10, we will head south. 9, we are heading south to 147. After a few minutes of walking, you find a mossy hut set back from the path. You are hungry and must consume a meal here or lose 3 endurance points. As you eat, you notice that beyond the small cabin, the forest path starts to curve towards the east. If you wish to continue to follow the path to the east, turn to 42. If you wish to return the way you have come, turn to 28. So, we're still fine. We have 8. We have hunting. If I'm doing this wrong, I apologize, but from what I remember, it will say you cannot hunt here. So, we will turn. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. So 42. You follow the forest track for nearly another hour before you arrive at a crossroads. It is shaded by a thick canopy of bushes. If you wish to continue eastward, turn to 86. If you rather head north, turn to 238. If you decide to venture south, 157. Or if you prefer to go westward, 147. We are walking in circles, I think. So alright, so 50-50, 1 through 5 we'll choose from the top 2, 6 through 10 choose from the bottom 2. So we'll choose from the bottom 2, and we'll choose from the top of the bottom 2. So we decided to go south, so we will turn to 157. as we continue to just walk around in circles. 157. The forest begins to thin out until finally you can make out a road through the trees ahead. The highway is full of people heading south. Many are wielding their possessions on handcarts. If you wish to join the refugees and perhaps learn more of what has happened in the north, turn to 30. If you prefer to continue to move south but under cover of the trees, 167. Let's see if anything new comes out as we turn to 30. Let's go talk. Let's go talk to the people. The people are hungry and exhausted. They have traveled many miles during the night, desperate to get away from the burning city. Suddenly you hear the beat of huge wings coming from the north. Kron! Kron! Hide yourselves! The cry goes up all along the road. Just in front of you, a wagon carrying small children breaks down, the right wheel jammed in deep furrow. The children scream, terrified by the approaching Kron. If you wish to help the children, turn to 194. If you rather run for cover of the trees, turn to 261. We're helping the children. We're helping the kids. We have honor. We are going to help them. We will go to 194. You sprint toward the wagon. People are running everywhere in panic as the Kron begin their attack. They swoop low and snatch their poor victims off into the sky. A large Kron comes gliding in to hover above the wagon, and 3 snarling Geiks drop from its back onto the startled horses. The children scream with terror. You must fight these enemies quickly, or abandon your rescue and seek cover from the attacks in the shelter of nearby farmhouse. If you wish to fight the Geiks, turn to 208. If you decide instead to abandon the children and run to the farmhouse, turn to 148. Oh, we're fighting. Oh, we are fighting. Welcome to the first battle of the Kai series of Lone Wolf. 208. Ghoulish creatures thrust their spears at you and attack. Fight these creatures as a single enemy. All right, here we go. It is time to put in some information here on our combat record. So we are in section 208. We have 23 endurance points. We are fighting Gex. There is a long, I don't know if I can show it there or if it comes into focus, but I don't think it will fit into that box. I mean, does it? I guess it gets smaller and smaller, but we are fighting 3 Gex as one, and they have in total 13 endurance points. So now we need to find out the combat ratio. All right, so they have a combat skill of 15. We have a combat skill of 17. So we are actually in a plus 2 here. Combat ratio. So we have plus 2. So now when we roll our die, so let's say we roll a 3, we go down to the third one on plus 2. The enemy will lose 6, we will lose 3. So let's get our dice rolling. So if we win, we can run safely to the farmhouse by turning to 148, or we can return to the woods by turning to 230. So I think we'll run to the farmhouse if we win, but let's continue to beat off these Geiks. Okay, so first roll of combat. We have a 6. So here we are. The enemy loses 9 and we lose 2. So we are down to 21. They, however, are down to 4. It's going great because we have our quarterstaff in hand, so we have that. So a 3. So on a plus 2 on a 3, the enemy loses 6. We lose 3. So we lose 3, 21, 29, 18. And the enemy is dead. In the past, I've done the enemy first and not have taken that combat damage. I think unless it's going to kill me, I'm going to take the combat damage. So we are down to 18, and here is where I need to remember to add 1 per safe passage. Okay, so if you win, you can run to the safety of the farmhouse by turning to 148. Kicking open the door, you dive into the farmhouse. A cran soars overhead, shrieking victoriously, a victim hanging helpless in its claws. As you pull yourself to your feet, you find yourself alone in this abandoned farmhouse. The kitchen has been emptied of food, but propped up against its fireplace, you discover a warhammer. You may take this weapon if you wish. So, just real quick, I'm going to turn to 320. So I just briefly, there's no mention of the kids. So we saved the kids. We fought and saved the kids, as far as I know. But we still ran to the farmhouse. So this is the same as what would have happened if we abandoned the kids. But in our hearts, we know we did the right thing. So, do I wish to take the Warhammer? So I don't have any combat skills, or weapon skills, I should say, but I think that might be better than the axe. We will toss our axe and keep the warhammer. So we have a quarterstaff, which we have equipped, and a warhammer. So if you want to stay in the farmhouse, turn to 81. If you will feel safer in the forest, you can make a dash by turning to 320. If you wish to search the room further, turn to 199. We are going to search the room further, and then probably end up staying. 199. Most of the cupboards and drawers are empty. You can sense that whoever once lived here left in a hurry. They must have taken nearly everything they owned with them. Only when you search the cellar, you do find enough fruit to make a meal. You may record that on your action chart. Turn to 81. All right. So we have another meal, which is going to go great for us later. If we can't hunt, we want those meals. So turn to 81. After they have completed their attack, the Kron and their cruel riders take to the skies and vanish towards the west. As the shock refugees start to emerge from the woods, you can hear the sound of horses galloping in the distance. They are coming closer. You stay hidden and wait as the riders come into view. They are the cavalry of King Ulnar's royal guard, resplendent in their burgundy uniforms. If you wish to call to them, turn to 183. If you would rather continue along the forest edge towards the south, turn to 200. We should call out to the guards. So let's go to 183. The officer orders his men to halt, and then he demands to know your business. You tell him that you are a Kai initiate, and you also tell him that the Kai monastery has been attacked and destroyed. He and his men are deeply saddened to hear your news. He offers you a spare horse and asks if you wish to accompany him and his men. They are on their way back to regroup with the rest of their regiment. He informs you that their commanding officer, the Crown Prince Palanatar, King Ulnar's son. If you accept this offer, turn to 97. If you decide to decline his offer, you can continue on your way by turning to 200. I did it. I forgot to up my things. Okay, let's backtrack. What was that? 81. So there's 1 for finishing that one. It was 81, I think, for calling out. 199. So 3. We'll give myself 3. So that is 21. I have to remember to do that. Okay, we are going to accept his offer. We're going to get on a horse. So turn to 97. After a short while, you catch a few tantalizing glimpses of the river Unaram through the trees ahead. This major watercourse is one of 3 great rivers of Summerland. A great bridge was constructed many centuries ago to span the river. As you push on through the trees, the twin stone towers that guard the approach ramp and gateway to this bridge's monumental span come into view. In the shadow of the towers, there is an area of level ground. A wide plaza paved with ancient slabs of granite, worn smooth by the passage of years. This paved area is known as the Alma Mirtre. It has often served as a meeting and trading place for merchants, but now it is being used for a much more sinister purpose. The Alma Mirtre is teeming with Gaiks and Drakarum assault troops. They are mustering as reinforcements for a fierce battle that is now being waged in the center of the bridge. You judge that it would be suicidal to try to cross the Alma Mirtre, for it is choked with enemies. You backtrack onto the forest and make a wide detour. You soon arrive at a turnpike running parallel to the river. Patiently, you await your chance to race across the road and dive for cover among the bushes opposite. If you had a horse, you leave it in the forest. Bye, horsey. Once you are sure that you have not been seen, you make your way down to the water's edge. Here you rest for a short while among the tall grasses, with fringe the river bank, marveling at the magnificence of the Almam Bridge. This ancient river viaduct is over 1 mile long, comprised of a series of elegant stone compression arches, interrupted at regular intervals by grand towers and huge granite piers. At the center stands the Durnstone. For many centuries, this wide central pier of the Alma Bridge has been used as a marketplace. A fierce battle is now raging on the Durnstone. The clash of steel and the cries of men and beast echo through the forest. Amidst smoke and flame, you can see the winged horse standards of the Crown Prince Palethar. Somehow, altered in time to the invasion, the prince has hurriedly gathered his elite troops and ridden here from the king's citadel in home guard. You determine that your best hope for survival now lies with the prince and the court guard, his elite bodyguard. If they fall here, your mission has already failed. Under cover of the tall grasses, you make your way upstream to the nearest of the bridge's 2 gatehouse towers. At the base of each tower, there is an iron ladder which ascends to a loading hatch located just beneath the wide central span of the bridge. You resolve to climb and enter the nearest tower by way of its loading hatch. From there, a flight of wooden steps ascend to the top of the bridge's gatehouse arch. Upon reaching the top of the stairs, you can cross over the gatehouse arch and turn along one of the raised walkways running parallel on either side of the bridge. You are able to hurry along the walkway towards the guarded entrance to the Durnstone. You stop to observe the battle that is raging in the paved plaza below. In the center of this magnificent square, Prince Palthar's court guards are locked in mortal combat with the Dark Lord's assault troops. The enemy have superior numbers and are trying to force their way through Palthar's line, but the prince's men are fighting like lions, holding them back. Through the smoke and turmoil of this vicious battle, you see the prince locked in combat with a large gray Gorgaz. The scaly creature towers above the other troops and wields its huge black battle axe with terrible effect. Prince Pelethar is sheathed in silver plate armor that gleams like a mirror in the sun. His white tabard is embezzled with the winged horse, his personal emblem, and the razor-sharp blade of his broad sword is embellished with proud symbols of Summerland and the House of Ulnar. Palthar seems to be winning his deadly duel with the monstrous Gorgaz. Suddenly, the prince falls, wounded, a black arrow in his side. If you wish to defend the prince, turn to 255. If you wish to run away, turn to 306. There is great artwork for 97 here. You can see. Oh, we are going to help the prince. So we are going to turn to 255. Your heart skips a beat when you see Palthar scream and falter. Sensing victory is imminent, the Gorgaz raises its great axe and strikes a mighty blow at the prince's visored helm. One of Palthar's court guards pushes him aside as the black axe whistles down. His swift action saves his wounded lord from being decapitated, but in so doing he sacrifices his right hand and forearm to the blade of the axe. Hastily, you set off down the broad marble staircase leading to the piazza below at a run. And miraculously, your speed and dexterity carry you through the supporting ranks of the enemy before they realize who you really are. You hurry towards the parapet wall at the end of the Palathar's battle line, to where the enemy is only 3 ranks deep. The Geiks fighting here are obviously to your deadly approach, and you are able to cut down their rear rank before they can react to your presence. You shout your battle cry for Summerland and the Kai, and use a falling Geik as a springboard to launch yourself into the air. The bloodied line of the Palathar's guards hear your battle cry above the din of the fighting, and a cheer goes up when they see you come leaping over the enemy's head. You hit the flagstones just beyond the line of the court guards and roll over to lessen the impact of your landing. Through the smoke of battle, you see the Gorgaz taking a scything sweep at the wall of court guards now protecting the wounded prince and scattering them like leaves in a storm. The Gorgaz strides towards and raises its axe once more, weakened by his arrow. Weakened by his arrow wound and powerless to fight back, Palathar snatches up a discarded shield and raises it to protect himself. The Gorgaz utters a disdainful laugh when the Palathar's cowering beneath the shield. It knows that it will not save the prince from crashing impact of its razor-sharp axe. With his bodyguard torn and scattered across the ground, only you can save Prince Palathar now. Without a moment's hesitation, you draw your weapon and attack the mighty Gorgaz. The creature that you now face is one of a race of cold-blooded reptilian creatures that dwell deep in the treacherous Makamar swamp. Their favorite food is human flesh. The Dark Lords have employed this murderous beast to lead their assault on the Alma Bridge. For 2 reasons. Not only is it fearless and formidable in close combat, but it also exudes a scent which sends Geiks into a state of battle frenzy. Under the influence of this odorless musk, they will fight without fatigue or any regard for their own safety. Solnaris, the prince's broadsword, lies at your feet. You may pick it up and use this weapon if you wish. This exceptionally crafted broadsword from the Magician's Guild of the Hals Ulnar will add +2 combat skill when used in combat, or +4 if you possess, which I don't. The Gorgaz is about to strike at you. You must fight him to the death. This creature is immune to Mind Blast. So I'm going to penalize myself. So I'm going to give myself 1 health for that long read of 97, and I probably should have had 1 more. But now we are in combat, so I cannot heal. So I have 17 here, and the Gorgaz's combat skill is 20. But I can only carry 2 swords, so do I want to pick up the prince's broadsword, use it, which will give me +2, which will give me 18, which will be a -2, or keep this to be a -3. It is a difference in, combat results. So for instance, a 1, I would lose 6 if I kept my current quarterstaff, or I would lose 5. So I don't want to drop my Warhammer since I can only carry 2. And I don't remember if there was, alright, so we are in section 255. A way to pick up my thing once I drop it. So 17, he has 20, so this is a -3. I do have 22 endurance points. I am fighting the Gorgaz, who has endurance points of 30. This is going to be a battle. If you win, turn to 82. and I must fight him to the death. I cannot run away. So, here we go. We have a -3 combat skill, so this will be the table that we look at. And here we go. First round of the battle, we roll a 9. That is huge. We don't lose any points, but they lose 9. So they are down to 21 points. That is huge. Here we go. Second round of battle, 2. Not great. They lose 2. We lose 5. So they lose 2. So that is 18. Nope, that is 19. And we lose, what I say, 5? All right. 17. Math. Round 3. 5. They lose 5. We lose 4. So they lose 5. Taking down to 14. We lose 4, which takes us down to 13. Here we go. Round 4-ish. 3. Not the best. They lose 3 and we lose 5. So they are now down to 11. And we are down to 8. All right, we need some good rolls here. Here we go. 7, that's good. That should be decent. They lose 7, we lose 2. They get down to 4. We get down to 6. I don't want to look to see. Here we go. 8. 8 is huge. All right. 8. They lose 8. We lose 1, but they are dead. We are down to 6 points. And we have won that battle. Okay, if you win, which we did, barely, turn to 82. And here, this battle, I know I didn't deduct that from what I was supposed to. I think because I'm reading it like top to bottom. So enemy loses first, then we loses ours. Enemy lost theirs and died. So they didn't get to attack. This is how I'm thinking. Okay, now I definitely want to make sure I raise my endurance points. 82. The massive Gorgaz crashes dead at your feet, gushing green blood from the mortal wound you have opened in its chest. Its evil followers hiss at you with anger and spite. But then their bravado suddenly evaporates as they flee the Durnstone, turning and running in the chaotic mass towards the safety of the Alma Mater. Quickly, the prince's bodyguards regroup to form a protective wall with their shields around you and their wounded leader. Black arrows whistle past your head, parting shots from the hateful enemy. The dying prince looks up into your eyes and says, "Brave young Kai, we came as quickly as haste will allow. The enemy flee, yet they will return, stronger than before, though we shall deny them a crossing here. They will march upon Holmgard by the longer road." His life fading, Prince Halthar spreads his last breath to say, "Take a message to my father. The king must seek that which is in Durnor, or all is lost. Take my horse and ride for my father's citadel. Go quickly, brave Kai. Ride like the wind. May the luck of the gods ride with you." You bid a sad farewell to the prince. If you possess Solnaris, the prince broadsword, you decide to give it back to its legitimate owner. Delete it from your action chart. Mount his white steed and head south along the forest path. The battle still rages behind you as the prince's men fight off another assault on the massive bridge. Turn to 235. Heal us for 1. 235. Everyone, I thank you so much for sticking here with us for this part 2 of Flight from the Dark in the Lone Wolf series. Until next time, to all my dominant dabblers who have stayed till the end, thank you so much. We will see you next time.